Hello, and welcome to Read and Learn English. Have you ever waited for the perfect moment and then realized it never came? Sometimes we think waiting is safe, but what if waiting slowly takes everything away? In today's story, you will learn English through a simple and meaningful life story. You will hear clear sentences, useful words, and real emotions that can help you improve your listening and speaking. This is the story of a man who believed he was being careful, but slowly lost his chances in life. My name is Dev. I live in a small village surrounded by fields and quiet roads. I am a farmer, just like my father was. People in my village know me as a calm and thoughtful man. Some even say I am very wise. But there is something else about me. I do not make decisions quickly. In fact, I almost never do. From a young age, I believed one thing: patience is the key to success. My father used to tell me, "Think before you act. Do not rush." And I followed his advice very seriously. Too seriously. When I was younger, my friends would often make quick choices. They would try new things, take risks, and sometimes fail. But I was different. I would stop, think, wait, and then wait a little more. "I will decide later," I often said. At first, people respected me for this. "Dev is careful," they said. "He does not make mistakes." And it was true. I did not make many mistakes. But I also did not move forward. My life became very simple. Every morning I woke up early. I worked in my small field. I came home, ate dinner, and went to sleep. The same day. Again and again. It was safe. It was calm. But deep inside, something felt quiet. Too quiet. One afternoon, something unusual happened. A trader came to our village. He arrived with a cart and spoke to everyone in the center of the village. People gathered around him, curious and excited. "I have an offer," the trader said loudly. "Land, good land, fertile land, at a very low price." The villagers looked at each other. Some were surprised, some were interested. Land like that was rare. Good land meant good crops. Good crops meant better life. I stood at the back, listening carefully. The trader continued, "But I will not stay long. If you want it, you must decide soon." Soon. That word stayed in my mind. People began to talk. Some were already planning to buy. "This is a great chance," one man said. "Yes," another agreed. "We should not miss it." I felt my heart beat a little faster. This could be a good opportunity. I could grow more crops. I could earn more money. I could improve my life. But then another thought came. What if it is not good land? What if the trader is lying? What if I lose my money? I stepped back. "I need time," I told myself. That evening I sat alone in my house. I thought about the land. I imagined both sides. If I buy it, I could succeed. If I buy it, I could also fail. The thoughts went in circles, again and again. The next day, I spoke to some villagers. "Are you going to buy the land?" I asked. "Yes," one of them said with confidence. "I already decided." "So quickly?" I asked. He smiled. "Sometimes you have to trust your feeling." I nodded, but inside I was not sure. I talked to another man. "What do you think?" I asked. "It is a risk," he said. "But life always has risks." His words stayed with me. That night, I made a list in my mind. Good reasons, bad reasons, possible problems, possible success. But the list never ended. Every time I felt ready to decide, a new doubt appeared. "Maybe tomorrow," I said. "Tomorrow? I will decide." But tomorrow came, and I still did not decide. Days passed. The trader waited, but not forever. One morning, I heard the news. "The land is sold," someone said. "All of it." I felt a sudden shock. "All of it?" I repeated. "Yes, The trader left this morning. I stood there, silent. The opportunity was gone. Just like that. I told myself, it's okay. Maybe it was too risky. Yes, I said again, trying to feel calm. Maybe I avoided a mistake. But deep inside, I felt something else. A small, quiet feeling. Not fear, not relief. Something closer to regret. But I pushed it away. I will act next time, I said to myself. Next time, I will be ready. But I did not know then that this was only the beginning, and that next time would test me in a much bigger way. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Life in the village continued as always. The sun rose, the fields waited, and people worked. But something had changed. Not in the village. In me. At first, I tried to forget about the land. I told myself I made the right choice. It was too risky, I repeated again and again. But one morning, as I walked past the edge of the village, I saw something that made me stop. The land. The same land the trader had offered. It was no longer empty. Green plants covered the fields. The soil looked rich and alive. Farmers were working there, smiling and talking. I stood still, watching. That used to be empty, I said softly. Yes, a man beside me replied. Now it's the best land in the village. I swallowed slowly. The people who bought it were brave, he continued. Now look at them. I looked. They were not worried. They were not afraid. They were proud. And suddenly, I felt that quiet feeling again, but this time it was stronger. Regret. I walked away without saying anything. That evening, I sat alone in my house. I remembered the trader's voice. You must decide soon. I remembered my own voice. Maybe tomorrow. I closed my eyes. Why did I wait? Why did I think so much? For the first time, I asked myself a difficult question. Was I really being careful? Or was I just afraid? I did not like the answer. So I stayed silent. Time moved forward, as it always does. Another year passed. I continued my simple life. I worked in my small field. I earned just enough. Nothing changed. But inside me, something was restless. Then one day, another opportunity came. A man from a nearby town visited our village. He was looking for partners. I am starting a small business, he said. We will sell farm products in the city. Fresh vegetables, fruits, and grains. People gathered again, just like before. This business will grow, he said. But I need help. I need partners who are willing to invest and work together. My heart started to beat faster. This felt important, maybe even more important than the land. If you join now, you can grow with us, he said. But I need an answer soon. Again. That word, soon. I felt the same pressure, the same thoughts returned. This could be a big success, but it could also fail. What if the business does not work? What if I lose my money again? What if I make a mistake? I went home that night with a heavy mind. I sat down and started thinking. Again, the same pattern. Good reasons, bad reasons, possible risks, possible rewards. But this time, something was different. I remembered the green fields. I remembered the missed chance. I should not miss this one, I said to myself. But then, another voice inside me whispered, what if this is worse? I felt stuck. The next day, I went to talk to others. Are you joining the business? I asked one man. Yes, he said quickly. I believe in it. Another man said, I am not sure, but I will try. Why? I asked. He smiled. Because doing nothing is also a risk. His words stayed in my mind. Doing nothing is also a risk. I had never thought about it that way. To me, not acting always felt safe. But now, It did not feel safe anymore. It felt like losing. Still, I could not decide. I waited one day, then another. I just need more time, I told myself. I need to be sure. But certainty never came. Only more thoughts, more doubts, more waiting. Finally, I went back to the meeting place. But something was wrong. It was quiet. Too quiet. "Where is everyone?" I asked. A man looked at me and said, "You didn't hear?" "Hear what?" I asked, my voice low. "The business has already started," he said. "They found enough partners. They left this morning." My chest tightened. "They left?" I repeated. "Yes," he said. "You were too late." Too late. Those two words hit me harder than anything before. I stood there, unable to move. Again, I missed it. Not because I could not do it, not because I did not have the chance, but because I waited. I walked home slowly that day. Each step felt heavier than the last. I entered my house and sat down in silence. No excuses came to my mind this time. No words like safe or careful. Only one truth. I was not protecting myself. I was holding myself back. And for the first time in my life, that truth felt impossible to ignore. But I still did not know how to change. And deep inside, I feared something even worse. What if I never change? That night, I did not sleep. I lay on my bed, staring at the ceiling. The room was quiet, but my mind was loud. The same thoughts kept coming again and again. The land, the business, the chances I had and lost. I turned to one side, then the other. But I could not escape one simple truth. I was the reason. Not bad luck, not other people. Me. For years, I believed I was being wise, careful, patient. But now it felt different. It felt like I had been hiding from risk, hiding from failure, hiding from life. The next morning I walked outside early. The sky was still soft and gray. The village was quiet. I walked without thinking, just moving forward. Soon I reached the edge of the village. And there it was again, the green land. The same land I once refused to buy. I stood there for a long time. The plants were tall now. The crops were ready. Farmers moved through the fields with confidence. One of them saw me and waved. "Dev," he called. "Come, take a look." I walked slowly toward him. "This land changed my life," he said proudly. "It was a risk, but it was worth it." I nodded. "It looks very good," I said. He smiled. "You should have joined us." Those words were simple, but they felt heavy. "I know," I replied quietly. He looked at me for a moment. Then he said something I did not expect. "It's not just about this land," he said. "It's about choosing to move forward." I stayed silent. He continued, "If you wait for the perfect moment, you will wait forever." I felt those words deep inside me, because I knew that was exactly what I had been doing. Waiting forever. Later that day, I walked back through the village. Children were playing near the road. They were laughing, running, falling, and getting up again. One boy tried to climb a small tree. He slipped and fell. For a second, he looked surprised. Then he stood up, laughed, and tried again. I stopped and watched him. He did not think too much. He did not ask, "What if I fall again?" He just tried. Again and again. Something inside me moved. A quiet realization. Children do not wait for perfect moments. They act, they learn, they grow. And maybe that is why they are not afraid. I sat down on a nearby rock. For the first time, I did not try to push my thoughts away. I let them come. All of them. I saw my past clearly. Every moment I said, "Tomorrow." Every chance I delayed. Every step I did not take. I felt a deep pain in my chest. Not because I failed, but because I never even tried. Tears slowly filled my eyes. I had spent my whole life avoiding mistakes, but in doing so, I made the biggest mistake of all. I did nothing. I took a deep breath, then another, and slowly, something inside me changed. Not suddenly, not loudly, but clearly. I cannot change the past, I whispered, but I can change what I do next. That moment felt important, like a door opening. For the first time, I did not think about perfect results. I did not think about every possible problem. I thought about one simple thing: action. Small action, even if it is not perfect, even if it is not safe. I stood up. My legs felt a little weak, but my mind felt stronger. That evening, I made a decision. A real decision. There was a small empty piece of land near my house. It was not big. It was not perfect. Before, I ignored it. Too small, I thought. Not worth it. But now, I saw it differently. It's enough to start, I said to myself. The next morning, I picked up my tools. I walked to that land, and I began to work. The soil was hard, the work was slow, but I did not stop. For the first time in many years, I was not waiting. I was doing. Days passed, then weeks. My progress was not perfect. Sometimes I made mistakes. Sometimes I chose the wrong way. But something amazing happened. I did not stop, because now I understood something very important. Mistakes are not the end. They are part of the path. One evening, as I looked at the small green plants growing from my land, I felt something I had not felt before. Pride. Not because it was big, not because it was perfect, but because I started. And in that quiet moment, I realized something even deeper. I had not lost everything. There was still time, but only if I stopped waiting. The small plants in my field grew slowly, day by day. They were not as big or as strong as the crops in the large green fields outside the village, but to me, they were special. Because I planted them. Because I did not wait. Every morning, I went to my land and worked with care. I gave water, removed weeds, and watched closely. Sometimes things went wrong. Some plants did not grow well. Some leaves turned yellow. Once, I used too much water, and the soil became too wet. Before, I would have stopped. I would have said, "This is not perfect. I should wait for a better plan." But now, I did something different. I learned. I adjusted. I continued. That was the biggest change in me. I no longer needed everything to be perfect before I started. I just needed to start. Weeks passed, and my small field slowly came to life. Green leaves, strong stems, signs of growth. People in the village began to notice. "Dev is working hard these days," someone said. "Yes," another replied. "He is different now." One afternoon, the same farmer who had bought the big land came to visit me. He looked at my field and smiled. "This is a good start," he said. I nodded. "It's small, but it's mine." He looked at me and asked, "What changed?" I thought for a moment. Then I answered honestly, "I got tired of waiting." He laughed softly. "That is a powerful reason." I smiled, but deep inside, I knew it was more than that. I was not just tired of waiting. I was ready to live. Months later, my crops were ready. Not perfect, not the best in the village, but real. I took them to the market and sold them. The money I earned was not a lot, but when I held it in my hands, I felt proud. Because this time, I did not lose the opportunity. I created one. Years passed after that. I did not become the richest man in the village, but my life changed in a quiet and meaningful way. When new opportunities came, I did not wait too long. I still thought carefully, but I did not let fear stop me. I made decisions, sometimes good, sometimes not, but always forward. People in the village began to notice my story. Some came to me and asked, "How did you change?" I told them the truth. "I waited too long," I said, "and I learned that waiting has a cost." They listened carefully. Some of them started to act faster in their own lives. Some took chances. Some made mistakes. But they learned, and they grew. One evening, I sat outside my house, watching the same road where I had walked so many times before. Children were playing again, laughing, running, trying new things without fear. This time, I smiled. Because now I understood. Life is not about being perfect. It is about being brave enough to move, even when you are not sure, even when you feel afraid. Because time does not wait, and opportunities do not stay forever. I looked at the sky and took a deep breath. For the first time in many years, I felt at peace. Not because everything was perfect, but because I was finally living. Now it's time to learn some useful vocabulary from today's story. Opportunity means a chance to do something good or improve your life. Example: this job is a great opportunity. Hesitate means to wait or feel unsure before doing something. Example: don't hesitate to ask questions. Regret means feeling sad about something you did or did not do. Example: I regret not trying earlier. Decision means a choice you make after thinking. Example: that was a difficult decision. Risk means the chance of something bad happening. Example: every new plan has some risk. Action means doing something instead of just thinking. Example: action is better than waiting. Fear means feeling afraid or worried. Example: fear can stop us from growing. Growth means improving or becoming better over time. Example: mistakes help our growth. Now, let's do some shadowing practice. Repeat after me. I waited too long. I was afraid to act. I missed my chance. I will not wait anymore. I choose to take action. I can learn from mistakes. I am ready to move forward. My life is changing. Thank you so much for learning with me today. What do you think about Dev's story? Have you ever missed an opportunity because you waited too long? What action will you take today? Keep practicing your English every day, step by step. See you in the next story.